Hey everyone! In this video, we're going to look at setting up and completing stock takes in Restoke. Stock takes can be conducted at the beginning or end of a particular period to see your overall stock on hand and calculate your COGS. So let me walk you through how to set this up and get it running. Before we launch a stock take, there are 3 things we need to set up. First is your suppliers and supplier items, because your stock take is dictated by the items you've set up under suppliers. Second is storage areas, which lets you organize your stock take by different sections of your venue. And third is Stocktake UOMs, which gives you flexibility in how you count different items. Let's go through each of these. Your stock take is dictated by the supplier items you have set up under suppliers. If you'd like to count a particular item or supplier, you'll need to add it to your suppliers first. The good thing is, items can be added dynamically to open stock takes. So if you notice something missing while doing a stock take, once you add it in the suppliers section, it will pop up in your active stock take. Pretty handy, eh? Now the second thing is storage areas. By default, your master stock take is arranged by suppliers, but you may want to customize it by arranging supplier items into your venue's storage areas. This is really useful if you complete stock takes by walking through different sections of your venue. Let me show you how to set this up. Navigate to the bottom left toolbar, click the gear icon, then Restaurant Settings. On the far right, you'll see Storage Areas. Click Add Item and start adding storage areas to split your stock take. For example, I can split this by venue areas like cold room, hot kitchen, fridge, etc. Let me add a few here. Cool. Once you've created your storage areas, you need to assign suppliers or specific items to each section. Navigate to the left toolbar and click Purchases, then Suppliers. The most common way is to bulk assign specific items within a supplier basket to a storage area. Select the checkbox next to the items, click Bulk Actions, then Bulk Edit. Use the Storage Areas dropdown to select one or multiple areas to assign to these items. Alternatively, click the gear icon next to an item to edit storage areas individually. Or, if you want to assign an entire supplier basket to a default storage area, click the Actions button, then Edit Supplier Details. Choose a storage area to assign to that supplier and its entire list of items. Alright, the third thing is Stocktake UOMs. By default, supplier items are counted by the ordering UOM you have set on the item in the supplier baskets. However, some items you may want to count in a different UOM to how they're ordered, or have both options available. We refer to this secondary UOM as the Stocktake UOM. For example, you order wine by the case, but you also want to count it by the bottle. Makes sense, right? To set a Stocktake UOM, click the gear icon next to the item, and you'll see the option to add a Stocktake UOM. Let me add bottle here. As you can see here, if a conversion is missing, you'll be prompted to add that in. For this item, I want both UOMs to show up when counting, so I'll set this to yes. Cool, that's saved. Now once that's set up, we can launch a stock take. Click on Inventory in the left toolbar, then Stock Counts. You can either manually launch it or schedule it. Let me show you both. To launch manually, click New Master Stock Take in the top right. A box pops up asking whether you want to complete your stock take by supplier or by storage area. If you want to launch by storage area, make sure you've completed those setup steps. I'm choosing by storage area here. Only toggle on end of day mode if you're completing stock takes at close of business and want the counted stock to become the opening stock for the following day. Click More Options to get more specific. You can limit the stock take by certain suppliers or storage areas, by certain tags, include prep recipes, or mark uncounted as 0. That last one's useful if you're tracking live stock and want to reset non-counted items to 0. You can also give your stock take a custom title, like January Beverage Opening Stock Take. Once you've chosen your settings, click Create to launch the stock take. There it is! To schedule stock takes instead of launching manually each time, go to the Stock Count Schedule menu on the right-hand side. Flick on the toggle next to Activate Schedule. If you want to include prep recipes in the count, flick this toggle on as well. Choose which days and time of the week you'd like the Stocktake to appear in MyDay. Let's say Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Choose whether the scheduled Stocktake should be launched by supplier or storage area. Once you save that, it'll automatically launch on the schedule you've set. Launch Stocktake appears in the list on the stock counts page with the status, created date and timestamp, and title. To check on your team's progress, click the highlighted Active status. You can use filters to view your Stocktakes by status, reactivate any canceled Stocktake if needed, click the Show Info tab to check what parameters a Stocktake was launched with, or sort this list by status, created date, or completed date. Now let me show you what completing the Stocktake looks like from your team's perspective in MyDay. Head over to Workday, then MyDay. Once you've launched a Stocktake, it appears here with the stock count tag. Your team can just tap in to start counting. If organized by storage areas, they'll see it broken down by those sections, which makes it easy to work through systematically. See here, cold room, hot kitchen, bar. As you count, Restoke shows you the value of each stock item based on the data available. Your team enters the quantities as they count. To mark a supplier or storage area as completed, click the Mark as Completed button and select Yes to confirm. You'll see the status change to completed in front of that area. During the Stocktake, if you need to deactivate an item, click the 3 vertical dots next to the item and select Deactivate Item. Worth noting here, any items that have yet not been assigned a storage area appears under this No Section banner. You can assign an item its storage area from right here. Simply click on Assign Section, select from the dropdown. Continue this counting process until all supplier or storage areas are marked as completed. It's that simple. When the Stocktake is fully completed, the status will flick to Completed and the completion time will be logged. Head back to Inventory, then Stock Counts. Click into the completed status to review the Stocktake count. Let's jump into my last month's Stocktake. You can see this Stocktake was completed by supplier, so we have our Stocktake sheet laid out by each supplier name along with their product list. From here you can see the total value of stock counted. You can also filter by storage area, supplier, tags, and more to drill down into specific sections. If you notice any miscounted items, edit them by clicking the 3 dots next to the item and then Edit Item. Super handy if you catch an error after completion. Now let me show you the Stocktake report. Click Show Report at the top. In this report, you get to see variances between your estimated inventory and actual counted inventory. This is really useful if you've got your POS integrated with Restoke and you're tracking live inventory. The variance shows you the discrepancy between what Restoke estimated you should have on hand and what you actually counted. Let me break down what you're seeing. Stocktake UOM is the unit of measure you set when counting. Price per UOM is the item value based on your conversions. SOH estimated is Restoke's estimated inventory at the time of Stocktake. SOH taken is what you actually counted. Variance is the discrepancy between those two values. Variance cost is the dollar value of that discrepancy. Variance percentage shows the size of the variance as a percentage. And stock value is the overall value of stock on hand based on what you counted. You can view the inventory trace for an item by clicking on this eye icon, and if an item shows this red hazard icon, that means this item is not being live tracked. If your variance is greater than expected, this can indicate a few things to investigate. Check that your recipe portioning is accurate and reflects actual usage, or make sure waste is being logged properly. If you're seeing a 0 estimate on an item, it either means Restoke estimated the item ran out of stock when you were completing the Stocktake, or the live inventory hasn't been correctly set up for that item. Make sure the item is an ingredient in a recipe and it's connected to a POS product. To export this Stocktake report, click the Export button in the top right corner. This will download a printable Excel file for your records. All right, last thing is creating orders from completed Stocktakes. This is a really cool feature. If you've set par levels on your suppliers, Restoke will suggest ordering quantities based on those preset par levels. To make an order from a completed Stocktake, click the Completed status, and in the top right corner, click Create Orders. From here, you'll see draft orders created for each supplier. Go through each draft order, note the in-stock amount, and determine the quantities you need to order. Once you're happy with the order, preview it and submit it to your supplier. This makes reordering based on your stock takes super efficient. So that's how you set up, complete, and review stock takes in Restoke. Initially, it's important to set up your stock take properly based on how you want to conduct it, but once it's done, your stock takes become really streamlined and efficient. Jump in, give it a go, and reach out via in-app chat if you need any help. Thanks for watching.